If Kylo Ren from Star Wars had a keyboard, it would be the Dareu COOL60. This is a wired competitive keyboard that features an 8K polling rate and magnetic switches with complete magnetic features you may utilize for gaming. I really like that this keyboard comes with Dareu's hi-fi transparent switches, which sound surprisingly really good. Magnetic keyboards most of the time sound a bit quiet, sometimes even clacky, but this one sounds really thocky, and we'll go over this in more detail later on. Hi, I'm Daniel with the Biboyharanero team. We've been in the game for 5 years now and counting. Consider subscribing so you're always updated with our new video releases and tech updates. Now, back to the keyboard. This is a tray-mounted 60% keyboard, so there's no bounce or flex on the positioning plate. For some reason, I still do feel some level of cushion thanks to the hi-fi switches. If I had to guess, the switches feature a palm stem which kind of absorbs some of the vibration given the nature of this plastic. Inside is a 35-gram spring which I think is really super light. Those used to heavy springs would need a few hours to get used to how light the switches are. I think spring weight on the hi-fi switches is just perfect. It's best for gaming and one that I would highly recommend for those who want an ultra competitive reliable keyboard. In the event that you don't like the switches, this keyboard is compatible with a wide range of magnetic switches which we are overlaying in the frame right now. So pause the video to take a closer look if need be. Now I used this for gaming and it felt really responsive. To be honest, I don't feel the difference between 1K polling rate and 8K polling rate, and I also do not have the technology to measure latency, so I will have to base my review on feel, and as you would expect, there's no interferences or delays. With the actuation point set to 0.8 mils, it's really very sensitive and very pleasurable to game on. Anyhow, I think magnetic keyboards greatly depend also on software performance. You have the option to use a web software or the downloadable software from Dareu. Let's go over them real quick. The software here is easy to navigate through. Upon opening, you see your device right there. If not, then click on connect and choose your Dareu device. First tab is the profile selection tab and polling rate selection. Next is actuation point setting with a sub-tab for switch selection and calibration. You get key binding settings here as well with customizable function layers, advanced LED settings on the next tab, and macro recording that auto detects your mouse clicks, which I think is vital to creating more complex macros. Lastly, you get a tab for firmware updates and resetting. Dareu's web software is one of the easiest softwares to work around of. For advanced magnetic features, you will have to download the Dareu all-in-one software. Here, you will have options for advanced magnetic features like DKS, ModTap, toggle key, and SOCD. Setting up SOCD has a unique setup workflow where you would choose multiple keys to add to an SOCD group. I have A and D on group 1, and you may add up to 61 keys per group, basically all the keys of the keyboard. Let's move on. The box contents include the keyboard, strap along with its screws, USB cable, documentation, and some cable management freebies. The cable is really thick, one which you'd be sure would be able to support 8K polling rate. I love that they included cable organizers here so your cable doesn't move around your desk. The strap is the usual shiny fabric with some rubber prints on it if I'm not mistaken. The hook that wraps around the strap port of the keyboard is made of pleather, so eventually it will peel off, but that's just fine as this is easily replaceable. Now onto the keyboard. This weighs just below 500 grams, so it's not too heavy, but also not too lightweight. The plastic case does not feel cheap. It actually feels really sturdy, and I feel like the plastic is not the thin type that would easily break. And being made of frosted PC plastic, I guess this is where they got the name COOL60. The internals are fully dampened as I'm showing you in the frame. Pause the video if need be. Anyways, this helps with reducing the rattling of the switches and the keyboard in total. Plus, if you look underneath the spacebar, you get silicone dampers there to help the spacebar sound a lot more full. Anyhow, looking underneath, you do not get any kick-up feet, only rubber pads, so it doesn't move around your desk. Then at the top side of the keyboard by the left-hand side, you get the USB-C input, and that's pretty much it for the build quality. Let's move on. The COOL60 comes with frosted PC keycaps in cherry profile. The legends have really good contrast to them, very easy on the eyes, clear enough for my broken eyes. I believe the legends are painted on the keycaps, so this may eventually fade, but if I'm wrong, I will leave a pinned comment down in the comment section below. Oh, and if you have any questions, utilize the comment section as well. The stabilizers are tightly fitted on the positioning plate with very little room for improvement. They are also fairly quiet when tapping on them. I would add more dielectric grease if you're rattle sensitive, but I think it's not necessary. Now onto the switches. You have Dareu's transparent hi-fi switches. They're called hi-fi due to the really thocky sound signature that it brings out. I really love that there's very little wobbling to the keys, making the keyboard feel a whole lot more high quality. Bottoming out feels really stable throughout the whole shaft as this is pre-lubricated. And thanks to the transparent housing, you actually actually do see the lubrication within. These have 35-gram springs inside, which feels really light and perfect for fast keystrokes. I personally would advise springs of below 40 grams if you want to use this for gaming. Anyhow, back to the sound. Here's a quick sound test for you guys. This is offered in 4 total color options that we are overlaying in the frame. The white one has a topographic shine-through keycap set on it, which is cool, but I went with the red one this time. The keyboard looks really neat with a frosted plastic body. It's super straightforward and there aren't any outstanding aesthetic features. Of course, aside from the strap. I'm not a fan of the stock strap design. I think it would be best if I replace this with something a lot more simpler. Maybe something color black with gold prints on it. And speaking of gold, yes, I think gold keycaps would look really good on this keyboard. You get branding at the lower right corner of the keyboard, which I believe is paint slapped onto the housing. This has no light indicators anywhere, so activating caps lock or win lock does not show any signs. Speaking of win lock, I just did a test and it doesn't work on this unit. Maybe you just have to do a reset, but I'll figure that out later. Onto RGB. This has one of the brightest RGBs I've ever seen on a magnetic keyboard. They really shine so bright, it drowns out the legends, which I think is both a good thing and a bad thing. However, when pressing the function key and spacebar, you can cycle through 5 different brightness levels. And I think level 1 is bright enough for me. You can cycle through RGB modes with the function key and left bracket. Then you can cycle through RGB colors with the function key and right bracket for static colors. Personally, I think the red RGB matched with the red translucent keycaps looks really very good. I'm so tempted to keep these keycaps for myself. Anyhow, I think all that needs to be said has been said in this review, but I may have forgotten a thing or two. So please let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section below. You will find links on where to get your COOL60 from the description as well. I earn a tad bit of commissions from those. Again, subscribe so you're always updated with our new video releases and tech updates. This is Daniel with the Biboyharanero team. We'll see you guys again next time.